In the world of martial arts, humility is a core principle. Even as mixed martial arts, MMA, has evolved, many MMA enthusiasts still cherish the idea of fighters showing respect for one another. However, there have been moments when fighters have pushed the boundaries, taking competition to a whole new level by showing disrespect to their opponents, both inside and outside the octagon. In today's video, we're going to share with you some of the most shocking instances of disrespect in the UFC. 10. Daley's shocking post-fight sucker punch. At the UFC 113, Paul Daley and Josh Koscheck met for a much-anticipated bout. During the fight, Koscheck used his wrestling to control Daley throughout the 3 rounds. Koscheck never allowed Daley to land a clean strike, frustrating the British striker. When the final buzzer later sounded, Daley unleashed a sucker punch on Koscheck as he walked away in celebration. This move came as a huge shock to everyone and led to Daley's immediate release from the UFC by Dana White. 9. Ortiz's infamous flip-off to Shamrock. Back in 1999, Tito Ortiz displayed one of the biggest disrespect in the promotion's history. Surprisingly, this event also catapulted Ortiz to fame. The incident occurred when Ortiz faced Mezger, the only man to have defeated him, in a rematch as the main event of UFC 19. After defeating Mezger, Ortiz went ahead to put on an offensive t-shirt that read, "Gay Mezger is my bitch." Then, he directed his taunts and middle fingers at Mezger's corner, particularly his lead trainer and UFC legend, Ken Shamrock. This move by Ortiz later led to a matchup between Ortiz and Shamrock several years later. 8. Thiago Silva uses Brandon Vieira's back as his drum. When Thiago Silva squared off against Brandon Vieira at UFC 125, the stronger and harder-hitting Silva dominated all 3 rounds, leaving Vieira with a badly broken nose. However, the lowest point for Vieira came in the 3rd round when Silva had control of Vieira from behind. Instead of just pounding on Vieira, Silva chose a more unusual tactic. He started playing the bongos on Vieira's back. This episode was a moment of tremendous disrespect. 7. Rousey leaves Tate hanging. At UFC 168, Ronda Rousey faced Miesha Tate, a fighter who had relentlessly taunted Rousey and her Armenian trainer, Edmond Tarverdyan, for months leading up to the fight. When the day of the contest finally came, Rousey won via a 3rd-round armbar victory. In an attempt to put the grudge to rest, Tate extended her hand in a gesture of sportsmanship. However, Rousey responded by ignoring Tate. Ronda's explanation was that Tate was merely trying to play the good sport for the cameras and wouldn't have shaken her hand otherwise. 6. Jon Jones taunts Daniel Cormier. One of Jon Jones's most disrespectful moments inside the octagon occurred during his bout with Daniel Cormier at UFC 182. Inside the cage, Jones was largely in control of the fight. Knowing he was ahead on the scorecards with only seconds remaining, he decided to add a disrespectful twist. Jones raised his arms in celebration, then proceeded to throw additional punches at Cormier. As the final buzzer sounded, he executed a classic pro wrestling taunt aimed at his opponent, the crotch chop, before strutting away to celebrate. 5. Couture embarrasses Tito. When Randy Couture and Tito Ortiz squared off for the undisputed light heavyweight title at UFC 44 in 2003, it was a showdown of contrasting personalities. Couture used his wrestling to dominate the fight. Ortiz attempted to submit Couture with a knee bar, but Couture swiftly defended the move and decided to return the favor for Ortiz's past disrespect in a rather humiliating manner. Randy then reached down and spanked Ortiz. This unconventional move by Couture caused the crowd to erupt in laughter. 4. Brock Lesnar's explosive rant at UFC 100. Heading into his highly anticipated rematch with Frank Mir at UFC 100, Brock Lesnar carried a significant grudge from their first encounter. In their previous meeting, Mir had submitted Lesnar in the 1st round with a knee bar. According to Lesnar, Mir had been incredibly lucky. In their next bout, Lesnar fulfilled his promise of defeating Mir by dismantling Mir with a barrage of powerful punches, securing a TKO victory. However, it was Lesnar's post-fight behavior that truly left a lasting impression. He spat out his mouthpiece and launched into a heated tirade directed at Mir, the crowd, and just about anyone who would listen. 3. Baroni's mocking laughter at a fallen opponent. One of the standout moments in Phil Baroni's career came in UFC 37 when he faced Russian kickboxer Amar Suloev. In a wild first round, Suloev landed an illegal knee that nearly knocked Baroni out. Despite the setback, Baroni made a comeback and eventually finished Suloev with a flurry of punches. An infuriated Baroni grabbed a small American flag from his corner and waved it mockingly at Suloev's team, taunting them. Baroni then leaned over the defeated Suloev and let out a wild, hyena-like laugh, further stoking the flames of anger. 2. Bisping's controversial spat at Rivera's corner. In the lead-up to the clash between Michael Bisping and Jorge Rivera, Jorge got on Bisping's nerves by releasing several videos where he was mocking the UFC icon. The effect of the trash talk on Bisping was evident inside the octagon, with Bisping landing a blatantly illegal knee strike on his downed opponent. A point was deducted from Bisping's score, and while Rivera chose to continue, it was evident that he wouldn't recover from the illegal blow. In the second round, Bisping sealed the deal with a series of strikes, ultimately finishing Rivera. Even after winning, Bisping went ahead to taunt Rivera with words like, "Go home, loser," and also spat in the direction of Rivera's cornermen. 1. Nate Diaz, a master of disrespect. Nate Diaz has a profound record of always disrespecting his opponents. One of his most memorable displays of disrespect occurred during his bout with Kurt Pellegrino in April 2008. Pellegrino, a skilled wrestler and grappler, attempted to take Diaz to the ground, only to find himself ensnared in a triangle choke within moments. With the knowledge that the submission was locked in, Diaz decided to take his disrespect to the next level. First, he flipped off Pellegrino with a double bird gesture while his opponent was trapped in the hold. Then, as Pellegrino tapped out, Diaz celebrated with a double biceps flex taunt. Diaz displayed an utter disregard for his opponent's skills. Which of these moments do you find most offensive? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed watching this video, you would want to check out our next 2 videos.